So, namaste, Kathy Sachs. It's so good to see you.
Namaste, Garnett.
I look forward to having a practice with you. We'll do a little in seated, a little in standing. We'll probably come between the two. Let's take the hands down, out and up a couple of times just to follow the breath. You can let the hands, I'm going to slide back, the hands descend and then slide up. We're noticing the breath, sliding down, out, and your hands don't have to come straight out. They can be 45 degrees. If you'd like to be in standing, that is perfectly well and good. So I'll tip the camera so that, see if I got it about right. Yeah, there we go. Your hands descend on the exhale. They rise on the inhale, and they're not coming straight out. They're sort of at a 45-degree angle. Exhaling down. Follow the in-breath up. And just the palms turn over about shoulder height. That makes it a little easier for the shoulders. And go just to a place of comfort. The elbows slide down first. Yeah, just like that, Kathy. We'll go 2 more times. Last time. Just to where you're comfortable. Take the hands to the heart. We'll do this several times. I want you to take your hands up in front of your face. Maybe the forearms parallel the ground, but you work with your shoulders, and I just want you to separate the arms. As the hands come back together, follow the exhale. Inhale, the hands go wide. There's a squeeze of the shoulder blades together behind your back. Hands come back together. Last two. Inhaling as the elbows move back. Exhaling as the hands come back together. Last time. And then the hands come together. We'll slide down. Release the hands down by the sides. If you want a chair, you're welcome to use a chair. I wanted to work a little bit so feet with some turns or twists. Feet hip distance apart. Turn the gaze to look over one shoulder. The shoulders, hips, legs stay steady and still. Bring the head back to this side to look straight forward. You can follow the in-breath, the inhale, as you look to the side, and exhale back to the center. We'll go 1 more time to each side. It's a turn. One side of the neck folds, the other side lengthens. Come back to center. The one side of the neck folds, and then the other side lengthens. Come back to center. Keeping the feet, knees, and hips still. If you take the chair in front of you, it's a way to keep you honest, especially if there's one hand here. Look over the shoulder, and this time keep the hips still, but turn through the upper back. So the shoulders move too, and then come back. So it looks like this from the side. As I turn, instead of just the head, my shoulders are moving too, and then come back. My hips are not turning, but my shoulders and head are. Come back to center. Last time. Head, shoulders two, hips, knees, pelvis stay steady. And then you've got a chair in front of you. You can slide it forward or walk back. The arms are straight like scaffolding, and you're just stretching the back long. There's a little bit of a sense of the tail dropping. This is a type of downward facing dog. The head is not dropping down, but in line with the upper back. You're lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Head goes one way, arms are supported, tail goes the other. Does that feel good, Kathy?
Yeah, that's fine.
The knees can be slightly bent, that's fine. Or they can be straight, whatever is in the best for your practice today. And then bend the knees if they're straight, because I can't tell from this angle, and walk the feet back towards the chair. We're going to add a couple of pieces together. It's to lift one foot and slide the foot back. We're going to set up a warrior two pose. The front foot is straight forward. The back foot is at a bit of an angle, or you can lift the heel, whatever is the most comfortable. The front knee is slightly bent. You can take your hands here or one hand here, or you can, I would like you to take your hands or one hand or two hands like this. So it can be one hand or two hands. And then as you straighten the knee, as you straighten the front knee, actually let me straighten the front knee, the hands are together. And then as you bend the knee, the hands go apart. The hands come together, one or two, and apart as you bend the front knee. So we were doing this arm movement before, but it's bending the knee, and your arms are wide, straightening the knee, and the hands come back together. Bending the front knee, the back leg is straight, the arms go wide, straightening the front knee, and the hands come together. You can certainly do this with one hand on the chair. This strengthens the standing leg of the front leg as you bend the knee. One more time, and then take your hands to the chair, bring the back foot forward, rest the hands down by the sides in Tadasana. Slide the hands up. I'll be moving the chair back and forth. The hands come together to the heart, to the chair. Second leg, so whichever leg went back before, the other leg is swinging back this time. So I sent my left leg back before, now I'm sending my right leg back. The back heel can be up or the foot completely down. The back leg is straight, the front knee is bent, but we're gonna start with the legs straight and the hands together. And then bend the front knee slightly. It doesn't go past the ankle or you know, the heel in the middle of the foot. And then bring the hands back together as you straighten the front leg. You can do this with one hand on the chair. The knee bends and the arms go wide. And then the leg straightens and the hands come back together. Continue this gentle warrior one movement. Nice, Kathy. Let's go two more times. You can follow the in-breath as you bend the front knee and widen the arms. Follow the out-breath as you straighten the front leg and the hands come back together. Wide arms, bent knee. And then this time both hands come to the chair and step the back foot forward. Stand for a moment in Tadasana, resting the hands by the sides, the shoulders releasing, the head and neck tall. Take one hand to the chair, at least, and it can be in front of you or beside you. We're going to play a little bit with the head. I'd like you to think about somebody lovingly tipping your ear up and you're listening for something. And there's a nice stretch along the side of the neck to the tip of the shoulder all the way down to the fingertips. And it's a curiosity, so your neck is lengthening even though you're tipping your skull. You can take the gaze a little higher than the computer, that'll help you with balance. And then bring the head back to center. Now, the other ear is if somebody's lovingly tipping up your ear, your skull slightly tips. You listen for something you can barely hear with that tipped up ear, and it's a tip of the skull. And from the earlobe to the tip of the shoulder, there's a release of the side of the neck all the way down the arm to the tips of the fingers. And then bring the head back to center. We're going to go one more time to each side. Tip, tip. Bring the head back to center. We're in the perfect arrangement with a nice long lengthened neck to weight one foot and bring the knee up. The toe can be on the ground, and slide the knee out to the side. You can take the free hand to the heart or both hands together in that prayer position. If you're ready to challenge yourself, you can stay here. You can stay here, or you can come back to that same shape arms that we did with Warrior One for tree pose. While you're here, you think about the roots growing deep, the branches high. Nice, Cathy. This is great for strengthening the legs and balancing, toning the foot, the calf, the thigh. Nice, Cathy. And then take the hands to the heart or to the chair and release the foot. Stand for a moment here. Bring the legs, feet together for a moment. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I look like. I want the tail to move back, the legs to stay together, and to bring a hand to the heart or two hands to the heart, so it's chair pose. Yes, it's a little bit of a squat. You're looking for length from head to tail. This is plenty in terms of a challenge. You thinking about sending the tail back and then come up to standing. That means straighten the knees, straighten the legs, bring the hands down, out, and up, and back together to the heart. We'll do that one more time. It's the same breath pattern we've done before. It's an inhale to let the hands rise to about shoulder height, the palms turn over, the hands come together. We're shifting to the second side for tree pose. So wherever that suits you in terms. So we're on two legs. We're going to weight the foot closest to the chair and the opposite knee comes up. Now there's a little tendency to tip towards the chair. We're going to aspire to be tall on that standing leg and then swing the knee out to the side. You can take your heel into your ankle if you like. And then the hand comes to the heart. So there's 3 levels I'm offering in terms of modification. A hand to the heart, with the hand on the chair, 2 hands to the heart, and then if you'd like, you can separate the arms. Nice, Cathy. And try looking a little above the camera and standing tall. Notice the breath. Move between those various modifications as you need to. Nice, Kathy. A couple more breaths here. And then releasing the hands to the heart, or a hand to the heart and a hand to the chair. Release the foot. And then take your feet. They can be together if that makes it more supportive. We're headed back to a chair pose. Your feet can also be hip distance apart, but you want to ask the knees to bend symmetrically. So that means equally. You can take the hands to the heart, or a hand to the chair and to the heart. And again, this is that long back from head to tail. If you really want to add a little challenge, you would take the hands out to prayer position, out to the cactus arms, or shoot them straight out in front of you, so that it would be aspiring to the same line of back to arms, and then unfold, straighten the legs, bring the hands down to the heart. Good work, Kathy.
Hanging in there.
You are hanging in there. Girlfriend's doing great. Take the chair, it's to one side, but I would like you to have wide feet. We're going to take the toes out slightly. So you can have and you'll have to look, toes forward, and then take them out about 45 degrees. Now, look up, because if you look down, it changes the balance. Bend the knees, and one hand to the chair, one hand to the heart. And I want you to think about your knees going back. So if I was here and the knees were tipping in, I'm going to come closer. The knees were tipping in. I want to ask them to go out. So you can take, this is a variation of goddess pose. The knees are not tipping in, but they're tipping towards the wall behind you. And then straighten the legs and come back to the bent knee version. And the knees are moving towards the wall behind you. And then come back up. And one more. Bend the knees, take the knees back, back, back. And then straighten the legs. Re-parallel the feet and heel, toe, step them together. And then, Kathy, where exactly is your hematoma? Cholesteatoma, hematoma, because
It's right on my right side.
So is it here, middle, or outside?
It's here.
So that looks pretty central, like hard to sit.
Yeah.
All right, watch me for a moment before you come here, because I want to see, what I want to do is come here and set up this pose, but if it's your right side, sliding back so that the buttocks is more off towards the back of the chair and there's not a lot of pressure there. Will that work? When we do the other side, it might be that we're limited on the other side.
I can give it a try.
Okay. So you start here, and as you swing the left leg to the side, you see how the chair is, I'm going to slide this way so my buttock is a little off.
Okay.
Okay. So we're aspiring to an L shape. And then one hand goes over the left leg. And it can.
Well, it's my right. So.
Oh, you've got your right.
Yeah, I'm just following you.
Okay. How is the right buttocks?
That's where it hurts.
And are you okay? Because this is pressure on the right buttocks. We want to be
I'm okay.
okay. We're aspiring to somewhere between here and here. You can always take the back hand to your hip. Look over the front hands. This is a variation of Warrior One. Turn the front hand to skyward and just tip it up a little bit. And there's a sense of lengthening all the way up from that hip. And then bring the hand down to the knee. Walk both feet back, knees back to face this way. We're going to shift so the left leg, your left leg is going that way. And you're going to slide back so the thigh is more supported here. And we're aspiring to an L with the legs. You can take the back hand to the hip if you'd like, but the hands aspire to here, here, or here. The baby fingers stretching away from each other. So it's Warrior One. Stay for a couple of breaths or as long as it suits you. You let me know if we need to, when we need to shift and change, if this is too much for that buttock. The palm turns up, the front palm turns up, and take the hand, the back hand to the hip and gently lift the hand just to where you're comfortable. And then the palm turns down and comes back to the knee. Walk the feet forward, but we're going to come forward on the chair. I'm going to come to the side. We're going to work with chair pose a little bit because you asked to work on gait, which means strength of the legs, calves, feet. I would like you to swing the hands out and lift the buttocks slightly. And we're looking for this to be fairly smooth. And if it drives the buttocks crazy, you let me know. Would you rather do this a variation in standing, Cathy?
What is the variation in standing?
We did a little bit of it, but I think it would be to, I cut off my head. It would be to come here, and I think you're going to be better with your legs together here. So
Okay.
you can come here and come up.
Okay, I can try that.
All right. So try one hand on the chair and coming into that long line, coming up. You can follow the inhale as you come up and the exhale as you come to the flowing chair pose. We'll aspire to 5 of these with this hand leading. I think that's 4. 5. Come back up. Now shift the chair slightly so the other hand has more room, or shift your body, whichever one works better. We're going to sway the tail back. It's like you're sitting on a high stool. 1. You can exhale, follow the out breath as you come to chair pose. Follow the inhale up. If you'd like to try 2 hands together, that offers more challenge, but not necessary, according to what's best for you. Come to the chair, and I'll stand sideways. I want you to look up beyond the chair, above the computer, and I want you to lift the heel. Oops, let me take the camera down a little bit. This is good for strengthening the feet. Feet are hip distance apart, and it's a lift of the heels and back down. lift of the heels and back down. About 10 times. Eight, that's about 8. 9, 10. Now try to stay up and move backwards, but still hold on to the chair. So when you come here, it's really easy to come forward and use the thighs. I want you to use a little bit more of the back line to just try to slide back. Does that make sense? So instead of tipping forward, try to slide back.
Okay.
Instead of tipping forward, try to slide back. Yeah. Do you see the difference?
I think so. My physical therapist gave me this exercise.
Oh, good.
So,
Well, I'm glad the physical therapist and I are thinking in the same direction. And then I'd like to come back here, Cathy, and face each other, but the chair is here. And what I'd like to do is lift a leg and just have it, the knee out in front of you, and just balance here. You can take the free hand to the heart. The toe can be on the floor, that's fine. And then change legs. You can leave the toe on the floor or you can lift the knee. So it's a balance pose. And then the foot comes to the floor. I'm turning sideways so you see. What I'm going to do is keep my knees together and kick up my heel behind me and just try to balance here. The weight is behind you now, so it makes it a little different. And place the foot on the floor. If it's easier to keep the back toe on the floor, that's plenty, right? Or you can lift the leg. But keep the knees close together. The back knee doesn't have to go back. And release the foot to the floor. March one knee up and then place it back down. Change legs, march the other knee up. The toe can be on the ground. Place the foot on the floor. Changing, lift the heel behind you or keep the toe on the floor. Take the foot back to the ground. Other foot goes back, knees stay together. You can lift as high as is comfortable. The toe can definitely stay on the ground. And we'll go one more set like this. Knee high, and the foot comes back down, strengthening the top of the thigh. Other foot comes up, strengthening the top of the thigh. But then when you kick up a heel behind you, it asks a little bit more of the back of the leg. And then the other foot behind you. And back down. And then shake your leg a little bit. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, shake, shake. And then shake the other leg. Shake. The trembling is supposed to be good for bone health. It's a nice way to lubricate the muscles. We're going to come back to that lunge type position. I'd like you to step one foot forward. And what I'd like you to do is bend the back knee slightly and then straighten the leg. Bend the back knee, you're stretching the back half, straighten the leg. Bend the knee slightly and straighten the leg. Take your weight to that front foot and bring the foot forward. Other leg goes back. Bend the knee and bring the back leg straight. Bend the knee, stretch the calf, straighten the leg. Bend the knee, let the heel come up, stretch the calf, come back up, and then stretch that heel towards the ground. Maybe slide the chair a little away from you. This is like humble warrior. And then take your time, come back up, and we'll do humble warrior on the second side. So the other foot goes back, the front knee is bent, you drop the back heel back and stretch through the back thigh and calf, and then it's a slight bowing forward. Arms are strong and long, and it could go as low as the trunk parallel the ground, but staying up in the space is fine too. And then bring that back foot forward. Take one hand to the shoulder and tip towards the hand that's away from the chair, and tip toward the chair so it's a lateral stretch. And then turn to look at the hand that's on the chair and come back up to standing. Change the hand to the hip, tip toward the chair so it's a lateral stretch, but then change it by turning the head, the shoulders, to look slightly at the hand that's on the chair and back up. If you want to progress, it would be to take the hands and wave at me or the camera, tip to the side, and then swing their hand out and over. It's a slight bow of the head and the shoulders, and then come back up. We're going to change the chair to the second side. We're starting with, Cathy, you're doing great.
Am I hanging in there?
You are an amazing person.
Uh-huh.
Hand to the heart. It's a side bend, a lateral stretch. While you're here, we're going to change it by taking the head, the shoulders, and slightly turning to look towards the hand, but the pelvis and legs are steady, and then come back up. Take the hand to the hip, it changes it a little bit. Tip the upper trunk over, and then turn the head, the shoulders, the hips, legs stay steady and still, and then come back up, and then wave that free hand at me, and it slides over, and then you can turn the head, the shoulders, and then come back up. Bring the chair in front. Hold on to the chair, turn the head, turn the shoulders. Come back to center with the head and the shoulders. Send that hand out, turn the thumb down, slide the hand behind the back so the back of the hand rests on the pelvis. Turn the head, the shoulders. Linger here for a couple of breaths. The pelvis is staying steady, as are the legs. They're oriented with the chair. And then head, shoulders come back this way. Release the hand down by the side. One more time, but we'll change it. The thumb goes down. I'm coming a little closer. The hand slides behind the back. I'm changing the camera. But this time, the head, the shoulders turn. The pelvis stays oriented with the chair. Your upper back is turned. I'd like you to gently keep the spiral through the shoulders, the upper back, and turn the head in the opposite direction. So one shoulder's moving back and the head's going in the opposite direction. And then turn the head back to that spiral and let that back elbow and shoulder blade move a little further away. It's called a lung stretch. And then release back to center, hand to the chair. We took this in 3 parts. We started with that free hand down by the side and just turned the head. The trunk and the shoulders, the trunk and the pelvis, the legs stay steady and bring the head back to look this way. Then the head, the shoulders, and then come back to face this way. And then we added the hand, the thumb is down, it hitchhikes behind your back. The hand rests comfortably at the lower back with the palm out. And then keeping the pelvis still, head, shoulders, elbow, shoulder blade wrapping around. Stay for a breath or two. And then come back to look this way. Release the hand. And then we'll go one more time. Hand slides behind the back. Head, shoulders, so there's a spiral through the head, the upper trunk. And then turn the head smoothly in the opposite direction. It's called a lung stretch. And then turn the head smoothly back to the original spiral in the same direction that shoulder, elbow, shoulder blade, upper back are turning. Of course, following what's best for you and bring the hands back. We're going to do a little bit more with legs. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on to the chair. Here we go. Find a slight micro bend to the knees, and I want you to kick up the heel towards the buttocks. You're curling the back hamstring, the back of the leg and calf. About 10 times. Stand tall on that standing leg. Last one. And then the other leg, a slight micro bend. The tail is dropping, the belly scooped in. Tail is dropping, belly scooped in, and then standing tall, looking up. It's a flex foot and the heel kicks towards the buttock and the knees aspire to stay together. Eight, 9, 10. All right. We're here. Let's do 10 more little lifts of the heels, all right? Look up, lift the heel, try to sway a little bit back, and then release the heels back down. Lift, stay if you can. Release back down. Lift the heels, sway back slightly away from the chair. As long as you don't pull the chair over, come back down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good going, Cathy.
Okay.
Chair to your side. Take one foot and slide it over the other foot. Pause here. The outside hand to the hip, and there's a slight lean towards the chair as the hip goes that way. So I'll set it up again. Whatever side your chair is on, hold on. The foot crosses over towards the chair, hand to the hip, and you lean. It should be a nice stretch for this side of the leg and a balance challenge for that other leg. You all right, Cathy?
Mm-hmm.
And then slightly turn towards the chair and uncross the legs. Now slide the foot back. And we'll do the same thing.
Which
So
which
the
to the back?
the foot away from the chair slides back.
Okay.
Hold on to the chair.
Yeah, I'm a little shaky here.
Yeah. And then come back. So when you get shaky, that's when you stop.
Okay.
Second side. This is called the banana
What's it called?
stretch. So the foot away from the chair slides over. Get balanced, feel balanced. It's a little bit of a challenge. You've got the chair and you lean towards the chair. Come back up. Uncross the leg. You asked me to challenge the legs and then take the back foot. It can be right behind if that's better for you, or it can be all the way crossed over. If you can just stay with your feet more or less in line with each other, that's fine. And then lean a little towards the chair. So this challenges your balance as your weight goes to one side. But it should also be a stretch, a little mini stretch. And then come back up. And then Cathy, let's use a little bit of a walk around where you walk one foot forward and one foot back, but I want you to try to put your feet right in front of each other. And you can stay with holding on to the chair and just go rock on the same foot, taking one foot forward and one foot back, that same foot back. You can aspire to leave the comfort of the back of the chair if you wish, but find where you're comfortable. This will work on strengthening that standing leg. One more time, forward and back. Now that standing leg is probably going to be saying, do the other side now. So one foot is stationary, and then the other foot comes forward right in front. So we're making like a single, like a tightrope type of line. Yeah. So this challenges the standing leg. It challenges your balance because your feet are one in front of the other, so you have a very narrow stance. Go one more time back, and one more time forward. Come back to two-feeted standing, and I'd like you to pick up your toes and walk on your heels. You can hold onto the chair and just walk in one spot, or if you're comfortable, you can walk around the room. It's sort of like walking like a duck. Yeah, the point is to gently tire out the muscles and to emphasize the weight that goes into the heels and the muscles that support you as your weight goes into your heels. But then, come back to flat-footed. Take a couple of steps around just flat-footed. Oh, that's so easy. But now, and you can hold on to the chair and walk in place, now you lift your heels and walk around on the balls of your feet. You can definitely just stay in one place near a chair and kind of tap, tap, tap around. or you can walk all around the room. And then feet to the floor and give the legs a little shake. Thanks, legs. All right. Foot to the
You're
side.
giving me a workout, Garnett.
I want you to be steady on your feet, Cathy.
I am not complaining. I'm just noticing.
To the foot to the side and back about 10 times. Now, as your foot comes out, trying not to sway that hip out. Not that I'm saying, not that you're doing that, but it's easy to do. The chair is there if you need it. Last two. All right, second side, other foot standing. And if you have enough room by the chair, you can go toward the chair, or you can change the chair to the other side. The more you challenge yourself, one finger on the chair or an open palm instead of, a grip. Aspiring not to sway that hip out, but the hip stays steady and still.
Was I doing that?
No, you weren't, but it's pretty typical and easy to do. But no, you're amazing, Cathy. Sachs. Cathy Sachs. Now, I would like to get a little bit more glute work in, of course, according to how much your glutes can tolerate. I'd like to have the chair in front of you, bend one knee and take the heel up. This was very similar to what we did, and I want you to just tip the back knee down. See if you can keep the back heel up. It's this front standing thigh and buttock is gonna say, oh yeah, I'm supporting you. And you're looking for the knee and the front shin to be straight up and down. Do as many as you can tolerate without it being crazy. This is part of the Warrior One strength that you need for Warrior One, because Warrior One is like this, or like this.
Mm-hmm.
One more time. And then,
am I doing this right?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
And then second side. The back heel up will challenge you a little bit more. The foot down is fine too. But it's bending the back knee and taking the whole trunk, aspiring to be, from head to tail, straight up and down. The chair is nice to have as support. You can also have it beside you if that's more supportive. Three more. It's dipping the back knee down is what you're looking for. And the trunk, yeah, it looks great, Cathy. Last time. And then come back up. I would like to get a forward folding, Cathy. So you can sit down, or you could use the chair, a slight bend of the knees, and then take the hands down the center line to the chair. You can hold on to the chair and bow the head and round the back.
You know what? I'll sit.
Okay. I'm going to come to do you have a cushy pillow that you sit on?
I do.
Oh, good. Take the hands to the thighs, the elbows drop down by the sides, spread the collarbones. There's a little drawing in of the tummy, but then your hands fall beside you. Take your hands up to about shoulder height and the palms turn up. Bring the hands together in prayer position. We're going to slide down, but we're going to bring our elbows to curl forward and bring our elbows or forearms to the knees. This is plenty. I'd like you to let the head drop towards the floor. It's a rounded back. Move around to wherever you're comfortable with it on the seat. If you want to go further, but you do not have to, it would be to release the arms on either side of the legs. It does take a little adjusting of the seat to bow a little more deeply. Some people like their hands on the outside of the legs. Some people like to widen their stance and take their hands to the inside of the legs. Sometimes a block under the hands is a little helpful. How is that, Cathy Sachs?
That's fine.
If you have your forearms on your elbows, it's kind of nice to rest the chest on the arms and hands. So you can have a clasp like this, and then your chest can settle onto your forearms. Like a trampoline, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Think about, while you're here, the tailbone moving back and down, and the belly scooping up, which means right below the belly button, scooping up. It's more of a thought than an action. It just helps to round the back in a pleasant, releasing way. You can turn the head a little from right to left, sort of like you're saying no. And then nod the head a couple of times, saying yes. Yes. And then maybe so, a little shake to the head. Cathy, we're going to bring the head up last.
Okay.
Drop the tailbone towards the chair. Uncurl the spine from the bottom up, bringing the head up last. You can take your hands to your thighs to help. When you come all the way up, take the gaze out into the room, and we're going to circle the shoulders. So the shoulder blade, the arms, the shelf of the shoulders is moving, but it's the shoulder blades that are really the prime movers here. So the shoulder blades go up the back, they slide in toward the spine, they release down the back. During that period of time, the collarbone spreads. We'll do this a couple of times. It should feel great. So you want to just glide the shoulder blades. Nice, Cathy. One more luxurious roll of the shoulders, and then I'd like you to slide your hands back to the back of the chair. Point the eyes of the elbows back, and sort of tucking your arms behind you, and it slides the shoulder blades in towards each other. But see if you can also release the shoulders away from the ears. So try not to have the shoulders come up, but the shoulder blades down the back. And then I'd like you to wrap your arms around your trunk. Give yourself a hug. And we're going to move the shoulder blades, but it's going to appear that we're circling the elbows. So the elbows circle as high as is comfortable. It sort of feels like you're pulling off a tight t-shirt, and then circle the other way. Come back to center. Notice which arm is on top. As if you have silly putty between your hands, draw your hands wide, wider. Shoulder blades slide back, and then wrap the other arm on top. Give yourself a hug. The shoulder blades then go on a circular movement as you circle the elbows. A circle in each direction. And of course, only go as high as is comfortable. we're seated here. While we're here, lift the heels and lower the heels several times. Lift and lower. Keep going. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit so my feet are fully in the picture. Yep. Great. Lift and lower, lift and lower. And you're asking the knees to come up and back down. So as the ankles straighten or the heels lift, the knees come up. As you lift the heels, there's also a deeper fold of the hips. And then cross, bring your feet together, cross one ankle over the other, and bow forward again. We'll be here for about 2 breaths. Like we did before, the head comes up last, tip the tail, roll up through the spine. On the feet, come back to center, lift the heels. And then feet to the floor, walk the feet together, cross the other ankle over. Bow forward. Cut 2 breaths here. Like we did before, roll up through the spine, bring the head up last. Feet to the floor, but we're changing it. Lift the toes. Down, lift the toes. Lift the toes. Sort of like tapping the toes. Last one. And then heel, toe, heel, toe. The feet go, knees, legs go wider. Adjust your stance as you need to. The knees, feet are on the same sort of 45 degrees out. It's goddess pose. You can take the hands to the heart. You've got options here. You can raise the hands and separate the hands. And then lift the heels and place the heels back down. Lift the heels, back down. Lift the heels, back down. Lift the heels, back down. Lift the heels as you, and then take hands up like a cowboy western so the hands go a little higher. And then as the heels come down, the hands come to the hips. Heel, toe, step. Wiggle, wiggle the feet back to center. Slide the hands down by the sides. They come up 45 degrees. That's the inhale, and then the hands float back down. We'll do this a couple of times, all right? So it's a gentle lifting of the back of the hands, like you're pushing something with the back of the hands. And then back down. One more time here, and then the palms turn over. And then they rise up, and they come together. The elbows come down first, hands to the heart. Coming in to say namaste, have a good day.
Same to you.
Sweet Cathy Sachs.
Thank you for a good workout.
Cathy, I'm going to stop the recording.